I guess what I'm going to speak about today is just talking about my boys as young men. In this recruiting process, it was very busy, very hectic. One twin was being recruited more so than the other. But what I've learned out of this whole ordeal, just watching them, how they maneuver during the process. Felix, we call him Landon at home, but Felix, he was very recruited, very heavily. And I would often see, because it was during COVID, he had a lot of Zoom meetings, and when he had those Zoom meetings, he'll be on the computer with other coaches. And when he was on there, Clayton, as his twin, wasn't recruited as heavy, but Clayton would often come and sit very closely. He would sit so close, but he couldn't be in the camera. But he would sit close enough to pay attention to what his brother was saying. He was paying attention. He was cheering him on in the background. But he could have easily got upset or discouraged. He could have easily went into his room and pouted and say, why this not happening to me right now? But he didn't do that. He sit to the side and he cheered his brother on. And I'm getting teary about it because that teaches us as adults, if you can cheer for your brother and your sister when they are doing great, if you stick close enough, in due time, your season will come. And lo and behold, today, both of my boys are getting full ride scholarships, and I'm so grateful. So as young men, they have really showed me that no matter if it's somebody else's season, it doesn't mean to get discouraged. You cheer for them, because in due season it will be yours, and who knows, it may be yours at the same time, which it is. So I'm just so grateful, and that's basically what I wanted to say today about my boys, and that stood out so much. There's so many stories I can share, but that's just something as young men that stood out for me, how they cheered for each other, no matter how long the process took for one, the other one was still there cheering for them. And I can go on and say, even when we went on one of Clayton's visits, Felix would be in the background just when Clayton would do something that was exciting, or if Clayton did something that he maybe didn't need to do. Felix was on the sidelines just cheering him on. He'll look at him, he'll give him a thumbs up, he'll encourage him. He didn't say it was all about him. He wanted to encourage his brother. He built his brother up. And guess what? Today, they signed it on the same day.
You gonna let it get raw?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking I'm in the truck. I remember when the boys were small and when they played on travel team. And I remember when we seen Clay run across that field and he was getting in the game, and we were so excited for him. And we didn't know that Clay had put himself in the game. And he just, after the game was over, when we were riding back, we found out Clay said, "Clay, they put you in?" He said, "No, Dad, I put myself in." And I thought that was one of the funny things. And he put himself in on defense. But when he started playing for school, he played on the offensive line. And then we know that his senior year, Clay ended up on the defense. He played defense and offense. But we always knew he had it in him. And Clay just got out there and he did his thing. And Felix, it's always have been in him. And, when I find out he came home excited, and I tried to find out what he was excited about, and find out that he was being heavily recruited, and that young man, when I seen him get back there and sack that quarterback when we were playing Pike County, which is my hometown, I was so excited for that young man, and Then when we played Mary Person, he got back there and made a sack. And he don't show much motion. He just get up and clap his hand and he move on to the next play. And then when he walk to the sideline, he'll give you that thumbs up, and you know, that just makes you so proud.
You know, when I first knew my boys had the ability to be football players, yeah, I grew up around football, but I didn't know that my kids would play football one day. But when I knew they first had it was when I believe Felix was in the 7th, 8th grade. He was in Henderson Middle School, and he was on the field and he was so aggressive. And I saw him hit this boy really hard, and my mom was sitting with me at the time, and I was like, oh no, Felix, not that hard. But you know, my mom said, shh, be quiet. That's what he's supposed to do. That's his position. And when he hit with so much aggression and the way he took control of the field, I knew then, I said, wow. I said, this kid got it. And I really knew at that point, I knew something special was being birthed. But Clayton, on the other hand, he didn't develop as quickly as Felix did on the football field. Now, in the classroom, he totally dominated because he was in his element. But Clayton is so smart. I knew that once he got on that field, if his brother was doing it, he was going to be brilliant enough. He was going to figure out a way. He was going to master the craft. So Clayton didn't play on the defensive side, but he played on the offensive side. And when I knew he had it, I knew he was probably about, I'm going to say, 10th grade maybe, 11th grade maybe. It was later for him because I said, okay, I'm not one of those to just say cheer because they my babies. I cheer for them every day. But on the field, I believe that if this is something you truly want to do, you really got to show me something to really be loud about. So Clayton showed me that around 10th, 11th grade year, he really got really aggressive and he channeled into that football side and he dominated off of his intelligence. He knew how to execute. He learned not just the offensive side, but he also knew the defensive side. And the funny thing about it, he played defense his last year of high school. And he didn't know what to do when they put him out there on that first play. But he's so smart. He went out there, he put his hand in that dirt. My baby got so many tackles this season. So that let me know his brilliance. He know how to pay attention. He know how to say, hey, it can happen for me too. And he went out there and executed. They both going D1 today, and I'm a proud mom.
You know, I'm one of the happy men on this planet Earth right now. I give glory to God.